History is filled with epic stories of empires rising and falling, but honestly, few can match the sheer scale and longevity of the Ottoman Empire. For over 600 years, this colossal power shaped the destiny of vast swathes of the world, from the gates of Vienna to the deserts of Arabia. It was a story of legendary sultans, incredible military conquests, breathtaking art, some pretty complex politics. The Ottoman story is not just a chapter in the history of the Middle East or Europe. It is a fundamental part of our shared global heritage. Understanding the Ottomans is crucial to understanding the world we live in today, as their legacy continues to echo through modern culture, borders, and conflicts. It's a tale that deserves to be told, and it all begins with one man. Our journey starts in the late 13th century, in the dusty, fractured lands of Anatolia, which is modern-day Turkey. At this time, the region was a patchwork of small Turkish principalities, known as beyliks, emerging from the crumbling remnants of the Seljuk Sultanate. It was a chaotic and violent frontier, a place where ambitious warlords could carve out their own kingdoms. Amidst this turmoil, a leader named Osman I emerged. He was the chief of a small tribe, but he possessed a vision and a ruthless determination that set him apart. He wasn't just a raider, he was a state builder, laying the very first stones of what would become one of history's most formidable empires. Osman and his followers were known as Ghazis, warriors for the Islamic faith, driven by a powerful sense of purpose. Their initial focus was on the neighboring Byzantine Empire, a once mighty Christian power that was now in a state of terminal decline. Osman's strategy was one of patient, relentless expansion. He didn't launch grand, sweeping invasions at first. Instead, he and his warriors conducted raids, captured small towns, and gradually pushed the Byzantine frontier back, bit by bit. This slow and steady accumulation of territory, combined with a knack for attracting warriors from other Turkish tribes to his cause, proved to be an incredibly effective formula for success. The legend of Osman's dream perfectly captures the ambition that fueled this nascent empire. From those humble beginnings under Osman I, the empire he founded entered a period of explosive growth. His successors were just as ambitious and capable, and they turned the Ottoman state into a relentless military machine. They pushed west into Europe, north across the Black Sea, south and east into the heart of the Middle East. For centuries, the story of the Ottoman Empire was one of near constant expansion. It was an advance that really seemed unstoppable, as city after city and kingdom after kingdom fell before the might of the Sultan's armies. This wasn't just a land grab, it was the forging of a true world power, an empire that would straddle 3 continents. One of the key innovations that powered this expansion was the creation of the Janissaries. This was an elite infantry force, completely loyal to the Sultan alone. A professional, disciplined, and utterly formidable force that gave the Ottomans a decisive edge on the battlefields of Europe and Asia for centuries. For centuries, one city had stood as the ultimate prize: Constantinople. It was the capital of the Byzantine Empire, the last remnant of the Roman Empire. Protected by legendary triple walls, it repelled sieges for over 1,000 years. For the rising Ottoman Empire, Constantinople was an obsession. The man who would do it, the 21-year-old Sultan Mehmed II, brilliant and ambitious, utterly obsessed with Constantinople. He assembled a massive army and a powerful fleet to blockade the sea. His greatest innovation, gunpowder technology. The siege began April 1453, lasting 53 grueling days. Outnumbered defenders fought with incredible bravery. The Ottomans dragged ships overland to bypass the chain and enter the Golden Horn. The final assault, May 29, 1453. After a massive barrage, waves stormed the breaches, led by elite Janissaries. Constantine the Palaiologos was killed in the fray, fighting to the very end. By midday, the fighting was over. Mehmed II, the conqueror, rode in and made it his capital vertical bar, renaming it Istanbul. If any single ruler can be said to embody the power and splendor of the Ottoman Empire at its peak, it is Sultan Suleiman I. Known in the West as the Magnificent and in the East as the Lawgiver, his reign from 1520 to 1566 is widely considered the empire's golden age. This was a period of incredible military success, unprecedented prosperity, a breathtaking flourishing of art, architecture and culture. He personally led 13 campaigns, conquered Belgrade and Rhodes, crushed Hungary at Mohacs, and besieged Vienna. But Suleiman was more than a conqueror. As Kanuni, he unified judgments and edicts into a lasting legal code, the Kanun. It covered criminal law, land tenure, and taxation, harmonizing with Sharia to stabilize a vast, diverse empire. He poured wealth into grand works, commissioning Mimar Sinan, on par with Michelangelo, to design mosques, bridges, palaces, and aqueducts. The Suleymaniye still crowns Istanbul's skyline. Poetry, calligraphy, ceramics, and textiles reached new heights, defining a distinct Ottoman style still admired today. One of the greatest challenges, and successes, was its ability to govern a vast, diverse population. At its height, the empire was a mosaic of ethnicities, languages, and religions. The ruling elite was Turkish, the state religion, Sunni Islam, yet massive Christian and Jewish populations lived within. Managing this tapestry required pragmatism and autonomy. Non-Muslims were organized into millets, self-governing communities led by their religious heads. They kept language, schools, taxes, and handled personal law, marriage, divorce, inheritance, in their own courts. In return for taxes, primarily the jizya, and loyalty, they enjoyed significant cultural and religious freedom. For centuries it brought stability. In an age of brutal European religious wars, the empire was a relative haven. Refugees found a new home here, a pragmatic cornerstone of Ottoman longevity and power. No empire lasts forever. After Suleiman's peak, a long, slow decline set in. Power eroded on battlefields, in the economy, and within the palace. By the 19th century, Europe called it the sick man of Europe. Lepanto shattered sea dominance. Vienna 1683 marked a turning point. From then on, defense in Europe, as Austria and Russia surged. The Janissaries became powerful and obsolete. New sea routes bled revenue. Industry lag widened dependence. Cheap imports swamped markets. Loans from Europe crippled the state. Leadership waned. Power struggles and graft bred instability. Rising nationalism fueled revolts, further weakening the empire. By the dawn of the 20th century, the empire fought for survival. Reformers rose, determined to modernize but alienated minorities. Fearing Russia and wooed by Germany and Austria-Hungary, they cast their lot with the Central Powers. In October 1914, Ottoman warships struck Russian ports. War had begun. The war stretched the empire from mountains to deserts, and beyond its means. At Gallipoli, a stunning defense forged the reputation of Mustafa Kemal. Yet the economy and rails could not sustain industrial war. The war also witnessed the Armenian genocide, deportations, starvation, disease, and killings beginning in 1915. By 1918, fronts collapsed. On October 30th, the armistice ended a 600-year empire. The capital was occupied, the Sultan a prisoner in his own palace. Plans to carve up Anatolia, Smyrna promised to Greece, sparked national outrage. Mustafa Kemal led resistance, founding a rival government in Ankara. From 1919 to 1922, a desperate multi-front war for a Turkish nation raged. Against all odds, the nationalists prevailed. In 1923, Lausanne recognized the new state. In 1922, the Sultanate was abolished. The last Sultan fled. Ataturk forged a modern secular republic. Capital to Ankara, caliphate abolished, Latin script adopted. With sweeping reforms and new rights, the Republic of Turkey was born. And so our epic journey through 6 centuries of history comes to a close. We've seen a small principality become a globe-spanning superpower, walked with Mehmed and Suleiman, stood in awe of Sinan, an empire of complexity, a military juggernaut, a center of high culture, and a multi-ethnic state mastering diverse rule. We traced its long decline, its struggle to adapt, and its end in the fires of World War I. From the embers, Ataturk forged modern Turkey. Borders, tensions, and cultural ties across the region still bear Ottoman fingerprints. The story of the Ottomans is a gripping human drama of ambition, triumph, tragedy, and transformation. It reminds us the mightiest empires are impermanent, and history is always in motion. Understanding this tale helps explain the world we've inherited. If you found this fascinating, please give this video a like and share it with anyone who loves a good story. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the pages of history.